Hello and welcome into another edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. And today is finally the day. It's playoff time. It's the Firebirds. It's the Mariners. It's game one of the playoffs. I feel like we've been talking about this day for so long, and it's finally here. But before we get into it, let's talk about the Firebirds' last outing, game 44 of the regular season. Now, it didn't go the way of the Firebirds. They would end up losing 14-12, in big part due to their pitching. But Dylan, like you said, it was almost an audition for Kelly Nicholson to see what arms he would use. Which arms stood out to you?
I think three arms stood out to me, Sammy. Started with Sam Leboki, 2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen, an outing he really needed going into the playoffs, giving him a lot of confidence. Then you go to Cole Glassburn, the righty sidewinder. He threw a scoreless inning as well. Another guy who was going up and down this season. He can be used in certain spots, changing arm angles, changing hitters' perspectives. And then my last one is Chase Hungate. We knew he was going to be used in the playoffs, and he is going to be used in the playoffs as we go through. Now, how is that going to be used? Righties versus lefties. Lefties can see his sidewinding action a little bit better. So if Kelly Nicholson sees 3 righties in a row in a lineup, he'll be going to Hungate to try to get a few outs.
Now, the game against the A's, the offense struggled a little bit, but 2 guys who put some offensive firepower into the game was none other than Colin Tuft and Jack Penny. Each of them had 2-run homers. How encouraging is it to see their bats start to get hot?
Well, for Colin Tuft, it's really encouraging because, we've talked about Eddie King's bat getting hot and how valuable he's been as an everyday center fielder for this team. Colin Tuft could be an everyday corner outfielder, and Kelly Nicholson knows he's got a lot of potential from the plate. I don't know what was more impressive with Colin, his home run in the 6th inning to kind of get Orleans back on track in that near comeback attempt, or when he leaped over the wall in left field in the top of the 9th trying to rob a home run. He's an athletic freak. He does it like nobody else on his team. He's got good power in the bat. He's going to continue to get time in this lineup towards the bottom of the order because more often than not, when he puts the ball in play, he barrels it. He's found the barrel, and it's wood bat.
Now, of course, the Firebirds would have wanted to get the win and clinch the number 1 seed, but hey, they had that big 9th inning surge, which was huge. How important is that for today's game?
Well, Sammy, anytime you put up 12 runs, you're expecting to win. And sadly, the pitching didn't have their best stuff that night, so they didn't win, but you move on. The 1 seed is the 1 seed. It's only a regular season title. This is where it really matters. You face a Harwich team that you beat 2 out of 6 times, but those 2 wins came in the last 2 meetings. One, you almost no-hit the Mariners, and one, you won 2-1 on a walk-off just a few days ago right here from Eldridge. So I don't think that the loss against Chatham, the last game of the season, is a bad thing. I think the surge in the 9th inning gives the offense a lot of momentum going into today's game.
Speaking of today's game, the starter on the mound for the Firebirds is Vanderbilt's right-handed pitcher Grayson Carter, who has been phenomenal this summer. He hasn't given up 1 earned run. What should we be expecting from the Vandy pitcher?
High heat. He's the fastest throwing pitcher in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Triple digits he can hit on the fastball, and that's why he has a perfect ERA. Nobody's been able to keep up with it. If the fastball is in for strikes, he can set up his secondary pitches, and he'll get strikeouts. In his last start, which came against Chatham, 6 Ks and only 3 1/3. That's ridiculous. The big thing for him, do not hand out free passes. If he can limit the free passes that he hands out, the fastball is going to play, and he's going to blow through a Harwich order, in my mind, that has changed a lot and has kind of struggled towards the tail end of the year. So I'm expecting a lot out of Grayson Carter today, hopefully 4 innings.
Now, in the beginning of the season, it was Harwich who had the Firebirds number. They dominated them in the first 4 games, but in the last 2 games, it was the Firebirds who were dominant. But at the same time, these 2 teams have changed so much from June to now. What are some of those differences?
Well, Harwich's position players have completely taken a swing. They used to have Hunter Fitzgerald, their big lefty, as well as so many other bats that really provide a lot of power. Matt Scannell, another Princeton guy on this Mariners team. Now, a lot of those guys have gone away. They're day one guys. Opposite from Orleans, their position players have been here almost the entire summer. They've seen Harwich 6 times. A lot of these guys on the Mariners have only seen the Firebirds 1 or 2 times. I believe that gives the Firebirds an advantage.
Now, Ian, I want you to put your manager hat on. You're looking at the scouting report. What names are you circling on the Harwich side?
Well, if I had my manager hat on, this team would not be one of the best teams in the Cape Cod Baseball League. I'll leave that to Kelly Nicholson. But to play the hypothetical game, if I'm looking at the 1 through 9 for Steve Englert, the manager of the Mariners, I would say Kevin Keister's been his guy. Over the last 10 days or so, the Maryland Terrapins been really good. He was a former double play partner with Matt Shaw, last year's Cape Cod Baseball League MVP with Maryland this past spring. He's hitting well over 300 this summer in about 10 games or so. And then on the mound, you got Tom Shimoleski. I know Orleans kind of hit him around. He gave up 6 runs, 3 earned on that game back on the 13th, a 12-0 win for the Firebirds, but he's been one of the best starters in the Cape Cod Baseball League all summer. So on the mound, it's Shimoleski, who should give him 4 to 5, and in the lineup, it's Keister, who can really put it out of play.
And guys, now I need the keys to a playoff game. It's not a regular season game, so I need some pretty good keys out of you. Dylan, what's your key for the game?
Sammy, they always say it. Pitching wins championships. Pitching wins in the playoffs. So I'll go with the starting pitching. Grayson Carter, four to 5 innings, and limit the walks. 2 or less walks from Grayson Carter. The runs won't come because Harwich's lineup really doesn't have a chance against how Grayson has pitched this summer, which has been excellent. Just limit the walks. Don't allow the free passes to beat you.
Ian, what about you? What's your key?
I guess I'll keep it Carter-centric and say that the defense around him has to be really good. The last time he started, he didn't give up an earned run, but he did give up some runs because the defense wasn't fantastic. And if this infield, which has solidified itself, Hall back at first, Oyama at second, Stallman at third, and Penny at short. If those guys can keep it error-free, Orleans should get out of here scot-free with a win.
Well, let's see if the Firebirds can have a strong start. It's the first game of the playoffs. The road to August 12th to get that championship ring for the first time since 2005 begins right now. But stay tuned for a lot more on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys can get out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. Today is finally the day. It's the first round of playoffs. We've been talking about it for so long, but it's finally here. How exciting is this postseason run?
Yeah, it's kind of the goal, right, Sammy? You get here in the summer. You get here day one, June 4th or 5th, whenever we got here. And, man, the summer goes fast. And the goal is to get to the playoffs. Obviously, everybody wants to win the division, and not everybody can. But we're happy with where this team is right now. We're happy to be playing Harwich, and hey, now the goal is to win today. That's the goal. Just try to win the game today.
And in your game on Wednesday against Chatham, you guys really showed that gritty mindset in the 9th inning, posting 4 runs. How much do you love that work ethic from this team?
Yeah, that's what I told them after the game, man. As messy as that game got, I told Stevie Englert we missed a field goal at the end. We got beat 14-12. I thought we were going to win the game, even when the score was what it was. I just had a feeling that this group was going to compete and we're going to go right down to the final at bat, and we did that, and it wasn't surprising. You've been here all summer. That's who this group is, and I'm looking forward to watching them compete tonight.
Speaking of tonight, it's going to be Vanderbilt's right-handed pitcher Grayson Carter starting on the mound. What do you like about his style of play?
Well, I like the fact that it's probably going to be 95 to 99, right? It should be. The key to tonight's game is Grayson going to command the fastball? If he does, we're going to be in good shape. And if not, we have guys to go to in the bullpen. So he has been throwing the ball extremely well. That's why he's getting the ball game on. And I'm excited that Grayson has a ball tonight.
And in the beginning of this regular season, Harwich had your guys' number, winning the first 4, but the last 2 have gone your way. The teams are pretty different, though, now. What are some of those differences?
Well, obviously the personnel is different, right? And that happens in the summer. Guys get injured, guys make the USA team, guys don't make the USA team, they still go home, guys get hurt. It's just different. So the thing I like about our club right now is, I was just telling Stevie's kind of the first 6 guys in our order have been pretty consistent the last, 10, 12, 15 games. And I think that has been part of the reason that this team has been playing better. We have our work cut out for us tonight. They're throwing a good guy, the Purnell kid from Florida. We've seen him before. He's good. Obviously, they're giving him the ball in game 1. So, again, we need to play well tonight.
And you noted this team is so close, and you can just tell they want to win for each other. How special is that?
Yeah, it's great. I was telling him today during Mind Up, during our team building stuff with Jay Money, that, yeah, this is a special group. This is a special group. Donna recognized it. I think people within you people that have been around this group all year recognize it. I'm excited to see what they're going to do tonight and in the playoffs.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy.
Hey, set the tone, boys.
I'm now joined alongside Vanderbilt's pitcher, Sam Leboki. Sam, it's crazy how it's already August, but how have you been enjoying your time on the Cape so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's a dream come true. I mean, I've had the COVID year and then I had a TJ year, so it's always been a goal of mine to get up here. So I'm super happy to be here for sure.
And we've had a lot of pitchers come in and out of the pen just this entire season. How awesome, though, has it been getting to know everyone?
Oh, it's an awesome group of guys. I mean, just this week we got a couple more guys. They're a lot of fun. It's special. I think baseball is really the only sport where you can end a season with one team and a week later you're starting a new season with a new team, and the guys will just gel and play together. It's really cool to watch.
Now, you did have a familiar face in Grayson Carter, your fellow pitcher at Vanderbilt. How happy were you when you found out you guys are going to be in Orleans together?
Pumped. I think he was actually supposed to go somewhere else, but he ended up coming here, and it's been so much fun to watch him get better this summer. He's going to be a really big arm for us, I think, this upcoming season. So it's been a lot of fun to watch him grow as a pitcher. Yeah.
And speaking of Vanderbilt, you guys had a great season last season. You also were a part of the no-hitter in Minnesota with Grayson and a few of your other fellow pitchers. How special was that game?
Oh, that was really cool. I mean, to be a senior and to have a moment like that, I shared it with another senior, Nick Maldonado, and then obviously Grayson and one of my roommates, Ryan Ginther. It was a super special moment, and especially because we got to win the week that week because we had gone 1-1 before that game, and then getting to cap it off with something historic, I'd say. It's pretty cool, yeah.
And you guys also won the SEC championship and made a postseason run. So how cool was this past year with Vandy?
It was really cool. It was something that I had seen from the sidelines for a few years now. My sophomore and junior year, we went through all that. Obviously, freshman year was COVID, but it was cool to finally play in those things that I sat in the dugout or in the stands for a couple of years. Got to pitch a couple times in SEC tournament, which was awesome. Dream come true as well. Yeah, it was just really cool to actually to live out those things that you're like telling yourself you're gonna do when you come to Vandy. Yeah.
And speaking of your TJ surgery, that puts you out for 680 days. So how was it just mentally really trying to keep calm and know that eventually you would be back on the field?
It was tough for sure, but the teammates that I have at Vandy, they made it really easy. So much support. I mean, I can remember my first bullpen. We were on the road. I forget where, but like kind of the whole practice stopped and everyone watched me throw. And then like that first outing when you're facing a hitter for the first time, like everyone's on the top step, everyone comes out to congratulate you. It was really special, and they made the whole process go by quicker and a lot more enjoyable, I think.
And your head coach, Tim Corbin, has said how proud he was of you because instead of just going away from the team, you put yourself right back into the team and you were there supporting. Have you always been a team player?
I think it's something that my dad ingrained in me early on. It's hard to win a lot of these sports solo. So yeah, just pushing your teammates, being a guy that a teammate can always come to and talk to, is something that I've always made it a goal to be able to do. And I think as I got older and younger guys started coming through the program, it was easy to give back. And I remember being a freshman in their shoes, and you're scared, you're nervous, you don't really know what to do. And to have an older guy to talk to, I always thought would be amazing. So to try to be that guy for the younger guys is something I've always tried to do for sure.
And speaking of your time here in Orleans, you've been in both the starting role and the relieving role. Is there a different mindset going into it, or is it the same?
No, I mean, either way, you're trying to get one out at a time and stack outs. Maybe the only difference is level of adrenaline. When you're in the bullpen, it's kind of you get your name called, and it's a quick process to go from name call to being in the game. So there's a little bit more adrenaline, I think. But once you're out there, and it's just pitching. I think I've done more relieving in college, so I might be a little bit more comfortable, but I enjoy both just the same.
And in this league, it's some of the best hitters in the entire country. Do you think it's just pushing you more as a pitcher?
Absolutely. I mean, when I talked to Brownie, our pitching coach, at the end of our season, he was like, you got better as the year went on, and he's like, I just want you to keep throwing. And I think the competition we see up here, it forces you to get better as a pitcher, because if you're making mistakes, like, they're going to make you pay for it. So it's definitely helped me get a lot better in my time here, yeah.
And now it's time for the playoffs. So how exciting is it to be here with this super close-knit team and really have some fun games ahead?
It's awesome. I can't wait to compete with these guys. It's been fun all summer, and I'm excited for the postseason. I mean, these are friends that I've made here that will last a lifetime, and I'm super excited to keep competing with them and hopefully be here for another 10 days.
And I also heard that your parents are in the music industry. So my question to you is, did those music genes get passed down at all to you?
Not at all. My mom wanted me to take piano lessons. I fought her on that for years. I said sports were too important. I think my sister got a little bit more than I did. I can't play an instrument. I can't sing. I really have no musical talent whatsoever. So no, it didn't pass out on me.
You're a good baseball player though, so it's okay. And you're also from Los Angeles. We're of course on the East Coast. So do the beaches stack up the same, West Coast versus East Coast?
These beaches out here are actually incredible. I've spent some time on our off days there. they're beautiful. I will always be partial to the West Coast, though, for sure. Yeah, those beaches are awesome.
I'm the same way. I'm from Southern California, so West Coast has my heart. Now, is there any spots in LA that you have to go to when you're making a trip back home?
In and out, I'll definitely make a stop there. Other than that, there's a gym that I work out at with a lot of my friends from back home, so probably there, in and out. No, not really. Maybe Malibu. I might make a trip out there. We'll see.
There we go. It's a great place. Well, thank you so much and good luck tonight. That'll do it for this edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 6:30 when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Harwich Mariners.